Ever wish there's a way to like quiet that inner critic?
Yeah.
Help you make decisions that are just a little bit clearer and maybe even come up with some like groundbreaking ideas?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there is, and it's been around forever. We're talking journaling today.
It really is amazing how just putting a pen to paper
Yeah.
can have those effects you were just talking about.
Exactly. Our source material is a podcast called Journaling for Mental Clarity,
Okay.
and it goes way beyond just, like Dear Diary.
Yeah.
We're going to look at all different journaling styles and like the science behind why it works and how to actually make it a habit.
Because we all buy the journal.
Right.
And then it sits there.
Totally.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why journaling has been practiced by everybody you know, from Da Vinci to Oprah.
Absolutely.
So let's unpack it.
Let's get into it.
What makes this so powerful?
So one of the really fascinating things about journaling is that it engages your prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
the part of your brain that's responsible for decision-making, for problem-solving and regulating your emotions.
So it's not just like, venting feelings. It's actually a mental workout.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
When you write, you force your brain to slow down,
Okay.
process information, and make connections.
Interesting.
And research shows that that can lead to some pretty amazing benefits.
Like what?
For example, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that journaling can reduce anxiety.
Really? How does that work? Is it just getting stuff off your chest, or is there something more happening in your brain?
It's a combination of things.
Okay.
When you write about stressful experiences, it helps us process and make sense of them.
Mm.
It's like we're creating this narrative that helps us distance ourselves from that raw emotion.
Okay.
Because the prefrontal cortex is involved, we strengthen our ability to regulate our responses.
So you're saying that writing about a stressful event almost allows us to like analyze it from a more objective perspective.
Precisely. And then that leads to a sense of calm and control.
Got it. I know the podcast also mentioned that journaling can boost your focus.
Yeah.
How does that tie into the whole prefrontal cortex thing?
So think about it this way. When your mind is cluttered with worries and to-do lists and all these thoughts that haven't been finished,
Yeah.
it's hard to concentrate.
Totally.
Journaling helps to clear that clutter.
Okay.
By writing things down, you're taking them out of your working memory,
Interesting.
and then it frees up space to focus on the task at hand.
So it's like hitting the reset button.
Yes.
No wonder so many successful people love to journal.
Yeah.
I know the podcast mentioned Oprah and Richard Branson.
Yes.
They're both big fans.
Huge fans. And they both talk about how journaling helps them to clarify their thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
capture those fleeting ideas,
Yeah.
and stay grounded in the midst of their busy schedules.
Do their approaches differ at all,
It's interesting.
given that they have such different careers?
They do.
Mm.
Oprah tends to focus on gratitude and self-reflection.
Okay.
She often uses her journal to explore her emotions and find patterns in her thinking.
Makes sense.
Branson, on the other hand, is very action-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
He uses his notebooks to brainstorm problems and set goals.
So it seems like their journaling style really reflects their personalities and what they prioritize.
It does. And that's a key takeaway here.
Okay.
Journaling isn't about adhering to a strict format.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding what works for you,
Right.
what resonates with your needs and your goals.
That makes sense. The podcast mentioned all these different journaling styles,
Yeah.
and it seems like there really is something for everyone.
Definitely. Let's start with free writing.
Okay.
That's where you just let your thoughts flow onto the page without censoring or editing.
So no worrying about grammar and perfect sentences?
Nope. It's all about getting those thoughts out of your head and onto the paper.
That sounds really freeing.
It is. It's very helpful for releasing emotions, overcoming writer's block, and even uncovering hidden ideas.
Sounds therapeutic.
It can be. And for those seeking a more structured approach,
Okay.
there's bullet journaling, which combines planning, list making, and creative expression.
Bullet journaling, I've seen those all over social media.
Oh, yeah. Are they as effective as they look?
They can be,
Mhm.
especially for people who are very visual and enjoy that sense of organization.
Okay.
It's a customizable system to track your to-do lists, appointments, goals, even your moods.
So it's like getting your life in order, but with a little bit of a creative twist.
Exactly. It's a planner, a diary, a sketchbook, all in one.
Very cool. And then there's gratitude journaling,
Yes.
which I've been hearing a lot about.
Gratitude journaling is so powerful for shifting your mindset to a more positive space.
The podcast mentioned it can actually rewire your brain to focus on the good.
That's right. When you consistently write down things you're grateful for,
Yeah.
you're training your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of your life.
I feel like that would be really helpful for people who tend to focus on the negative.
It is.
Yeah.
And over time, it can have a huge impact on your outlook and well-being.
Now, what about people who are very goal-oriented?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a journaling style for them to stay on track?
There is. Goal-focused journaling is a great way to clarify those aspirations.
Break
Yeah.
them down into steps and track your progress.
It's like having a personal accountability partner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By writing them down or reviewing them often, you're more likely to stay motivated.
This is all so interesting. But I'm a little overwhelmed by all the options.
It's a lot.
Where do we begin?
You're not alone. It's a very common feeling.
Okay.
The key is to not get hung up on finding the perfect style right away.
Okay.
The beauty of journaling is that it's a personal practice.
Yeah.
You can experiment, try different approaches, see what feels natural and effective.
So it's more about the journey
Yes,
than finding the right way to do it.
exactly. And that brings us to some of the challenges people face when they're trying to establish a habit.
Yes, like finding the time
Right.
or just that writer's block.
Those are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some simple strategies that can help.
Okay. Tell me there's hope for those of us who struggle with consistency.
There is. So one of the biggest things is that people think they need a ton of time,
Yeah.
but you really don't.
Okay.
Even just 5 minutes
Yeah.
can be so beneficial.
Wow.
The key is to just be consistent. It's
Mm.
kind of like brushing your teeth.
Okay.
You don't spend an hour on it,
Right.
but you do it every day.
I like that. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. And just like that, you can make journaling a part of your routine.
Okay.
Maybe you write for 5 minutes while you have your coffee
Okay.
or before you go to
You-
bed.
Linking it to an existing habit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about people who just stare at that blank page and don't
Mhm.
know where to start?
Writer's block.
Yeah. Any advice for that?
It definitely.
Mhm.
The podcast had some great tips for this.
Okay.
One of the best is to use prompts.
Okay.
It gives you a starting point,
Okay.
something to spark your thoughts.
Gotcha. Can you give us some examples?
Sure. You can try. What are 3 things I'm grateful for today?
Okay.
What is one thing I learned today?
Mm.
Or what's one challenge I'm facing? And how can I approach it differently?
Those are really helpful.
Yeah.
Like so simple, but it gets you thinking.
Exactly. And there are no rules.
Right.
You can write about anything.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to play around with it and see what resonates with you.
You know, I think fear of judgment can be a hurdle for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're worried their writing isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Or their thoughts aren't interesting enough.
I think that's such an important point.
Yeah.
You have to remember that your journal is for your eyes only.
Mm.
It's a safe space to explore your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
So you're saying give yourself permission to be messy,
Yes.
to be imperfect, to be honest.
Be completely honest. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
There's no pressure to perform.
I like that.
You can be as raw and vulnerable as you need to be.
Yeah.
And actually, that's where the most insightful breakthroughs happen.
Interesting. The podcast talked a lot about celebrating the process.
Yes.
Not focusing on perfection.
It's so easy to get caught up
Right.
in thinking it has to be this perfect work of art,
Yeah, like it has to be beautiful.
but that's not helpful.
So don't let the pursuit of perfection get in the way of actually journaling.
Exactly. Journaling is a practice, not a performance.
Mhm.
It's about showing up consistently,
Yeah,
even when you don't feel like it,
right.
and just letting yourself write whatever comes to mind.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yes.
You know, beyond the personal benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fascinated by the history of journaling.
Me too.
The podcast mentioned that some really brilliant minds in history were journalers.
Oh, yeah. We're talking Albert Einstein, Frida Kahlo, Marcus Aurelius.
Wow.
Their journals give us a glimpse into their creative processes, their struggles, and their insights.
It's amazing to think that something as simple as journaling played a part in shaping their ideas and their legacies.
I know, it's really powerful.
It is. You know, I was struck by the fact that Einstein used his notebooks to work through complex scientific theories.
That's right. They're filled with diagrams, equations, and little thoughts that led to these groundbreaking discoveries.
It really shows that journaling can be a powerful tool for not just our inner world, but also intellectual challenges.
Yes, and Frida Kahlo's journals are a testament to the emotional and artistic potential.
They are. I love that.
Yeah, hers were this unique blend of reflections, poetry and sketches, it gave her space to process her experiences,
Yeah.
express her creativity, and
Yeah.
connect with her inner world.
It's inspiring to see how journaling can be such a versatile tool for self-expression and personal growth.
It is.
It's not just words on a page.
Right.
It's about capturing the essence of who we are.
Beautifully said. And it's fascinating that those journals have transcended time.
Yeah.
They give us a window into the minds of these incredible people.
It really makes you wonder,
It does.
what insights are we capturing in our own journals that might inspire future generations?
That is a powerful thought. It speaks to the legacy that each of us can create.
Yeah.
Our journals can become this treasure trove of experiences and reflections and ideas.
That we can share with others or keep for ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, I am officially sold.
Me too.
Journaling is no longer a nice to have.
Yeah,
It's a must do
it is.
for anybody who wants clarity, self-awareness, and maybe even a little bit of genius.
Absolutely.
But before we go, let's distill all this into some key takeaways.
Okay.
What are the most important things to remember about journaling?
Well, I think the first thing is to just remember that there's no right way to journal.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you and fits into your life.
Yeah.
So whether it's free writing, gratitude, bullet journaling, a mix of everything, just experiment.
So it's really about finding what feels right.
Yes. Your journal is a reflection of you and your goals.
And we've learned that even a few minutes a day can have a big impact.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Think of it as a daily ritual,
Okay.
a way to connect with yourself and cultivate that sense of peace.
And if you're feeling stuck, don't forget about prompts.
Prompts are a lifesaver. They can really jumpstart your writing and get you thinking in new ways.
I know the podcast really emphasized that journaling is a safe space,
Yeah.
for being honest.
It is so important to remember that your journal is for you. You can be completely yourself there.
No judgment.
No judgment. Embrace the mess, the imperfections, the vulnerability.
Because that's where the good stuff happens.
That's where the breakthroughs happen.
And don't forget about all those amazing people from history who kept journals.
It's incredible to think about
It is.
how they use journaling to come up with ideas, solve problems, and leave their mark on the world.
Their journals are a reminder that writing can have a huge impact
A huge impact.
on our lives and on history.
Yes. And it's inspiring to think that our journals
Yeah.
might give people a glimpse into our lives one day too.
It's like a time capsule.
Exactly. Preserving all those thoughts
Yeah.
and feelings and dreams.
And who knows what we'll discover when we look back on them.
I love that.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
journaling is more than just a self-care trend.
It's so much more.
It's a tool for self-discovery and growth. And it can even lead to those big creative breakthroughs.
Yeah.
It's a way to connect with ourselves, make sense of the world, and maybe even leave a legacy.
Beautifully said.
So grab a notebook and a pen,
Yes.
maybe a cozy blanket, and just start exploring.
You never know what you'll find.
Happy writing, everyone.
Happy writing.